Hi, I'm going to be doing a reading for Cancer. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start with Ravenswood, Raven's Wand Oracle. Oh my god. Ravenswood. I said I wasn't going to be doing any readings tonight because I had too much to get done, but I feel a little bit incomplete not doing them. And I'm also a little bit bummed out because having been severely thrown off for 4 days straight and not being able to make videos severely lowered my views. It's kind of depressing. Whew, a moment at the bottom of the deck. Sorry, I got a little lost there for a second. I was thinking about something very unrelated to this, and I was thinking about if I had moved in with somebody, like what would happen. Like there's a particular person that I have in mind. Because, like, I have dogs and this person has a cat, and I don't even know why I'm thinking about it or why it popped into my head. But I thought I would tell you what it was because maybe it means something for you. I don't know. Shoot. Not about me moving in with somebody, but maybe there's similar thoughts going on in your head. A moment is someone who's taking a moment to themselves to breathe, to find peace. Okay. What does Cancer need to know? Is that all we're getting for them? Sanctuary. I don't know. I'll read that one and see if anything else pops up. Or maybe this is supposed to be a short reading. Oh, and we have ebb and flow. Which, from what I remember, speaks of allowing your emotions to ebb and flow. Going with the flow. Sanctuary. I can't really remember what this one relates to, except being in a peaceful place, making your home your sanctuary, or retreating into your sanctuary in a time of struggle. Hanging out with your cats. Pondering life. Hermit mode? I don't know. The sanctuary. It never used to be important for me to have a clean living space. Like, I'd leave bowls, used bowls and silverware everywhere, clothes that I had taken off throughout the day, just laying wherever, and it would stay that way. And then I realized having a kept home, also being decorated in such a way that makes me feel good, like plants and such. And then I have aquariums. Doing my home up in such a way that brought me peace just became so important to me. Keeping it clean, because it seemed like it kept this kind of straightened out, because this is really hard to keep straightened out. Anyway, Bruce sits in his study surrounded by objects both sacred and sentimental. They are touchstones to his past, providing him fond friends as well as spiritual allies in times of hardship. This is the power of a sanctuary. Fill it with mementos and treasures, whether obscure or humble, it doesn't matter, providing they resonate with you. In our sanctuary, we feel safe and at peace. From this fortress, we can reflect without bias and ponder without fear, pressure, anxiety, or confusion. So I think that life is possibly asking you to retreat a little bit, go to a place that makes you feel good. Take time to breathe and reflect on what's going on in your life. And I think that makes a lot of sense. When you're out and about living your life and everything, sometimes we get to thinking about the things that aren't working and the things that are working and the things that you don't know how are going to begin working or how you're going to make something happen for yourself. And when you're out there thinking about all those things, moving through life, it can make you become anxiety ridden, fearful. But when you're at home and you're in a place that you've taken care of and really done up for your peace, it makes it a little bit easier for you to find clarity instead of living from a place of what in the actual F am I gonna do, you know? Let's read about ebb and flow too, because I think that is really, well, obviously it's really fitting. I don't know if maybe you're in a state of how are things going to work out. If you are, you're not alone, because I am too. All right, here is ebb and flow. Kei pays respects to a river spirit in her homeland. Along its length, a single river branches frequently and changes character often. Thus, it houses many different spirits. We are similar, one soul with many aspects. The way these aspects ebb and flow make us the individuals we are. Some of your traits might disappoint you. Are you prone to impatience or criticism, for instance? Flaws are not a problem in themselves, but surrendering to them can be, both for us and others. The next time your instinctive reaction is to exhibit one of these flaws, pause, rethink, gently tell that flaw it isn't required right now, and move on. I've been seeing some information in my own readings about not acting impulsively about an upcoming decision. Like not allowing yourself to be too sensitive or even vindictive, harmful, passive aggressive. It's okay to have feelings about something that's going on or to be frustrated, but how you choose to carry yourself and react to whatever it is coming up is really being highlighted right now. And I don't know what that means for you or how you want to take that. My goal is to give advice and to highlight things for you because I think life is hard. And I think life is a lot of undoing cycles and patterns in order to get the life that you dream of. Because more times than not, we stand in our own way with our patterns, cycles of thought, beliefs, and behaviors. And it takes quite a bit to conquer those types of things. And so I think that instead of reacting or responding too quickly to something that might be going on in your life, whether that is, like, let's use this for instance. Maybe you're not making enough money at your job and it's freaking you the F out. Excuse my, I guess I'm not necessarily swearing. I'm hinting at it. And you're very frustrated with it. Maybe the pretenses in which that you started this job, you thought you were going to be a little bit more well taken care of, but you're not, and you're drained all the time, and it's really hard to go to this job. And this is just an example. Don't force it to fit if it doesn't fit, but you can also take little key points and align them with whatever you might be going through. Because you're feeling this way, you could potentially impulsively make a decision and have a reaction. You could become explosive to the person that you thought was going to ensure you were taken care of in this position, or that you were going to have everything that you need. Or you could impulsively move into a different job. You could push too hard to make a move instead of waiting for the right thing that's aligned for you. Well, not necessarily waiting to the point where you're just sitting around not taking any action at all, but sometimes a move like a job switch isn't the right decision at this particular time. Perhaps it requires some reflection, waiting for the fog to lift, and then making your move. But there's a level of needing to deal with that part of you that wants to make that impulsive move. It is, like I said, it's okay to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. However, there might be some patterns that you have that if you take the time out to reflect on what you're going through, you could ensure that this pattern doesn't take you down a similar path that you've already been down how many times before, and then you wonder why you keep ending up in jobs that just aren't the right fit for you. If that makes sense. And I probably shouldn't get that far into it before reading the tarot, but that was all off of one card too, man. What do you think? The Shadow Tarot? I call it the Shadow Tarot. It's actually the Black Tarot, and it's designed to help you work with your shadow aspects. The whole thing is designed that way, as a means of looking at yourself and what's going on underneath, which is really important, I think, when it comes to a tarot reading. I hope that I find my tribe that feels the same way. I really can't wait to, like, genuinely help somebody. Super duper excited for that moment. reason I went MIA, well, I wouldn't say necessarily MIA, quiet for a little while, is because a lot of my own past zodiac readings have really been aligning for me, and they just kind of all smacked me all at once, and I had a hard time moving through it and having enough energy to continue making tarot videos. So we have the Moon and the Three of Cups. I can't think of what that would be right now. One more time, and then I'll start shuffling to get cards to come out. All right, we have the Two of Spheres at the bottom of the deck, which typically speaks to trying different things to get better results, which I think is really fitting because of my storyline that I came up with, which doesn't necessarily have to be the exact storyline, but taking a hard look at how you're feeling in order to navigate the current situation so you could maybe make a different decision and take yourself to a different place, or step into alignment instead of making a decision based off of impulsivity and hard feelings. I noticed that when I get into a really big explanation based off of just the oracle, I don't get a whole lot of tarot. And it usually just ends up being like added advice. We got the Chariot. Okay, and I think that that's very fitting because the Chariot speaks of two unreined horses pulling a cart along. It speaks of willpower, but these two unreined horses represent two different aspects of yourself, the light, the dark, and you know, they're pulling on each other, and the trick is finding the balance between those aspects of yourself, not neglecting one to follow the other. Following your darkness and not strictly following your light. Both are necessary in the situation. It's just important to not lead with just one of them. Finding the balance between both of them and using your willpower to get through the current situation and get yourself, take yourself toward your destiny, your alignment. Oh. And then we have the Six of Cups. And notice how, it might be hard to see. I'm sorry if it is. But there's a being inside of this, this bubble surrounded by light, but you can see like little reflections, echoes. Maybe you're you might be in a situation that is a reflection or an echo of the past, a cycle that you've been in before, but perhaps in past situations you acted from a place of your shadow, or maybe you stayed in a place of accepting it blindly. Too much light or too much dark. following one aspect of yourself more than the other instead of using them to create a balance for yourself, to find the alignment. But we're going to go ahead and also read the meanings of them, because there might be some more magic in there for you. Oh, what was at the bottom of the deck? We also have the Hanged Man. Oh, I love that. In this rendition, I don't know if that's the right word. Sometimes I just like to sound smart. Of the Hanged Man being hung out to dry in the sunlight. See that? And then the sun typically represents clarity or truth coming to light, seeing things for what they are. You're suspended in time right now, being forced to see things for what they are. We're still going to read, like I said, the meanings, because like I can come up with what I feel like the card means, but I also think that there's extra knowledge or extra alignment within the meaning of the card. So I like to do both. It also can give me another perspective or a little bit more advice about what's going on. Okay. For the Six of Cups, reach out to someone you care about and share a memory or create a new one. Sharing, friendship, and happy memories. And if I remember right, we saw the Moon and the Three of Cups. Gather your closest friends and celebrate. Celebration, collaboration, and sharing. What else? Maybe you're being asked to reconnect with some loved ones that you feel safe around. That could be some friends. Maybe perhaps reconnecting with loved ones, a loved one can help you navigate some of the hidden feelings that you have going on right now. Being as I saw the Three of Cups and the Moon, and then we have this that says, you know, get together with someone. I think that might just be some added advice for navigating the current terrain, like the Chariot is showing here. We also saw the, I didn't make a note of it. I also saw the Fool. Optimism, a new beginning, curiosity and potential. A leap of faith, which is the action we take when we are born and when we die, and many times throughout our life. Therefore, as the Zero card, the Fool is the beginning and the ending of the journey throughout the major and minor arcana. We are the Fool. The Fool archetype is about curiosity and open-mindedness, going with the flow of life and managing our way through the unknown. And I think that's also why you're being asked to reconnect with loved ones, because I don't know about you guys. Not everyone has a great relationship with their parents. Some people have better relationships with their friends than they do their parents, or maybe a spouse, or maybe your own kids. I don't know. I don't know what a nurturing relationship is going to look like for each one of you. But when I go through hard times, all I want is my dad. All I want is to talk to my dad, cry to my dad, be around my dad. And there's just something really healing about it. And it helps me gather strength to move through whatever it is that I'm moving through. And I think the period of time that's coming up, you're going to need your strength in order to make different decisions about this cycle you've seen before. Okay. What else did we see? We have the Hanged Man, but I want to read the Chariot first. The Chariot represents willpower and drive, the intense focus we need to establish our identities and stand out in important and useful ways. The Chariot archetype is the seventh encounter for the Fool, teaching us the importance of acting with intensity and having conviction. A warrior rides a chariot across uneven terrain pulled by black and white stallions. The traverse landscape going ever higher, undaunted by any challenges. It also signifies victory, willpower, intensity, drive, and control. So there will be success in whatever it is that you do if you maintain balance between your light and dark sides, all while feeling your feelings, allowing them to be, seeing the situation for what it is, and doing what you can to find peace. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man represents knowing sacrifice. When we realize we must accept a short-term difficulty for a long-term gain, the Hanged Man archetype is the 12th. Oh, wow. I read that weird. Excuse me. I'm going to start over so I don't make it confusing. The Hanged Man represents knowing sacrifice. When we realize I'm doing it again. Knowing sacrifice. When we realize we must accept a short-term difficulty for a long-term gain. The Hanged Man archetype is the 12th encounter for the Fool, showing us the importance of devotion, surrender, and sacrifice. Forgiveness is also a message contained within this card. A figure hangs upside down from a structure so he can see the pure light of universal power and knowledge. He realizes his small place in the vastness of the cosmos, knowing sacrifice, change in perspective, and patience. So I think this goes back to, I think I said it in the beginning. Instead of making an impulsive decision, waiting for alignment, while still making moves toward your goals, but right now might not be the time to make a big leap. It's coming, but it is not here yet. The fog has to lift. And with having seen the Fool, the number 0, Aries, Saturn is about to enter Aries on Friday. Is that February 13th? Friday the 13th? Sounds scary. I like Friday the 13th. 13 is the number of death, transformation. And Aries, I keep saying Aries. Saturn is going to be in Aries at 0 degrees. And what is it, 4 days later, the Chinese New Year, Mercury retrograde is coming. Saturn and Neptune are pretty much going to be right on top of each other. There's going to be a lot going on, but with Aries entering 0 degrees. This is, I feel like, when the fog begins to lift, because we're coming out of Pisces, a very blurry time. All right, I think that I'm gonna leave that there. I think that I've conveyed what the cards wanted to say. And I did all of that. I'm just really proud of myself, don't mind me. One oracle card, and then what was on the bottom of the deck, and then 2 tarot cards. Wow. Sorry, I just get really excited when I can tap in like that. All right, have a good night. Thank you.